went everywhere with it.
Oh, funny.
Whittington
Whittington cat. That is funny.
We're going to stop here, talk about the
Insane asylum.
yes, yeah, there's the old building over there.
Oh my gosh, there it is.
Right, would you like to stop here, please? Form a half circle. Now we're going to discuss the connection between the mental asylum, St Mary's, and Jack the Ripper. This part of the old building stands over there. This was the major centre here. It was changed into the Whittington Hospital in 1948. Now, according to the Chicago Sunday Times Herald, 1895, the royal medium Robert James Lees tracked down Jack the Ripper. He was a gentleman doctor with a large practice in London, and he was an elderly gentleman. He was brought in by the Queen Victoria, aiding the police. In the early stages, they laughed at him and didn't think he knew what he was talking about. But he correctly predicted several more murders and the letters that were received. And eventually, the police decided to use him like a bloodhound, and he went across London and tracked down Jack the Ripper to a mansion in the West End. And the family decided to cover it up with assistance. He was put into this mental asylum, an empty coffin buried, and a long, large public funeral. He was a doctor from Guy's Hospital, and nobody knew that prisoner 123 in the mental asylum, Thomas Mason, was really Jack the Ripper. But who was Jack the Ripper? Who was the doctor? We don't know. And we don't even know if the story is 100% true. But the mental asylum was here, and in the 1900s, the early 1900s, a man died here called Thomas Mason and was buried. Well, it was a real Thomas Mason. A pharmacist called Thomas Mason died in 1891. Was it him? I had that published in a newspaper. Because we know that we are told he had a young child, a young boy. And Thomas Mason, the pharmacist, died at the age of 41, and he had a young son. So he may well have been the gentleman. He lived in another part of London prior to moving to the Kensington area. We know that Jack the Ripper is connecting with Kensington because the royal medium said, not only in his visions, but he met the Ripper on a bus at Notting Hill. The Ripper got on at Notting Hill. When the bus stopped at Bayswater, Marlborough Archie got out and walked down Park Lane, but saw he was being followed and jumped on a hansom cab and went off into the night. So there you go. The last resting place of Jack the Ripper according to the royal medium.
Wow.
Right.